You raggedy bitch.
Sorry, I just had to lead off with that. Welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. This is Under the Radar, where myself, ALW, and CM review the lesser watched but nonetheless important wrestling shows of the week. AEW Dark Elevation, AEW Dark Impact, MLW, and BTE. This week will be short because MLW was a best of, and so I didn't watch it, so there'll be no ALW on MLW. But MLW is back live next Thursday, January, whatever that is, 7th, I think, 6th, 5th, whatever, with Blood and Thunder, the 4th, January 4th, which should be a big show. And I didn't watch Impact. I know that you did, CM, so if you want to talk about it, we can. But I didn't watch it. So
Impact was also a best of, which I realized about, 9:45-ish. I was like, I've seen this before. I know I have. And yeah, I had.
Yeah, that's why I didn't watch it. So, but we can talk about Dark Elevation and Dark because they were both new this week, and I thought they were good. Let's see here. Yeah, I like Dark Elevation. I thought Dark Elevation was good this week. They had 7 matches, and out of the 7, I think 5 were women's matches. So, I mean, a couple of them were squash matches, and maybe not the greatest women's matches. But hey, 5 out of 7 matches are women's matches. I mean, I guess it's better than nothing.
I liked it. It was definitely interesting to see, and in light of the Dragon Lee news, the main event for Dark Elevation is very interesting. And I have a lot of questions about what's going to happen in the future.
Yes, I would agree. Did you have one match in particular that stood out to you from the show?
Okay, I know we're going to talk about Takeshita, so I'm going to talk. But I did love Ruby Soho and Willow teaming. That was like my match of the night because I was like, oh my God, this is going to be good. And I really, I'll say it again, give me more Julia Hart versus Sahara 7. If I can have that, I think I will be very happy next year. And I'm loving the growth and progression that I've seen from the women. I want more Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose this week with the promos. I've been on it, so yeah.
Yeah, I thought this was a strong week for the women. I thought they looked good overall. I thought Ruby and Willow, I think they look good together as a tag team. I mean, if you're going to put Willow in a tag team, and you got to do something with Ruby too, I mean, I'm here for that for the moment. Obviously, I want to see Willow get a solo run at some point. But, as long as she's on TV and they want to put her with Ruby, I'm okay with that if they win some matches. I thought that was a really good match. For me, I thought, obviously, Takeshita and Kazarian was really good. So was Dralistico and Blake Christian.
I honestly, for Blake Christian and Dralistico, I didn't know who was going to win. And Takeshita and Kazarian, I also didn't know who was going to win. Those were ones that could go either way, and I would accept either result. Takeshita working with these veterans, especially one as well-rounded as Kaz, I love it. I need more of that.
I agree. And more of these kind of matches on Dark. This is what makes Dark exciting. When you actually have, not just squash matches. I thought Nyla Rose, it's good to see the Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir get a win, but it was essentially a squash match. A couple of the women's matches were essentially squash matches. But yeah. So I thought Dark Elevation was a strong episode. I mean, again, if you're gonna, I hate to see the women relegated to YouTube, but I guess they're on somewhere. I mean, if you're not going to put them on Dynamite or Rampage, at least put them on Dark and Dark Elevation. I mean, in fact, got to put them somewhere. So,
I personally feel like it was wise to put them on Dark Elevation as well as do the Dynamite thing in light of last week with the women and the main event, and it just kind of has built on. And the things that we have been worried about for a long time ago, like what happens to the women who are not in these title picture, like main events, storylines, whatever, they're not even really hanging on the fringe. This is a good place to utilize them because I have friends who never like watched anything AEW, see Willow Nightingale, and they like, oh, now I want to watch this because I like her.
yeah.
So like it's good to get that out there, and I think that it's gonna be interesting as long as CHK keeps it going and doesn't fuck it up again.
No doubt. Anything else you want to say about Dark Elevation before we move on to Dark?
Dark Elevation is a show that you should watch this week. Maybe the bunny matches skip, but most everything is good. I wouldn't skip anything because I think these storylines are going to be important coming up soon. I don't quite know why, but it feels like it. So
No, I think they're doing a good job of using Dark Elevation and Dark to build storylines for Dynamite and Rampage as well. So yeah, I mean you should check them out, and there are a couple of really good matches. Athena Kiera Hogan was a pretty good match. Kiera Hogan held her own. I mean obviously we knew Athena was going to win, but I thought Kiera Hogan held her own and had a good showing.
I want to see them build with something with Kiera Hogan. I thought that match was actually on Dark, so I was going to talk about it next. But yeah, I like this. I'm not the biggest Kiera Hogan fan because of some things she said personally, much like Minerva. But they were both really good in the ring here, and I want to see more of them. So it's going to be interesting soon.
Yep. So what about moving on to Dark?
Let's see here. Okay, so Dark had 11 matches?
Was it that many? I'm not sure. It seemed like a few. I don't know if it was quite that many. I thought it was 9, but it doesn't really. Yeah. Maybe I missed a couple.
So never appears on my screen in any type of capacity ever again. Oh,
so hold on, time out real quick before you move on from Fuego del Sol. Nobody even knows who he is. I Googled him to find out who he is, and they don't know.
Yes, I do.
Where?
He was this kid. If you go back on his YouTube far enough, you find it. He was this dorky kid who started his own wrestling promotion. So backstory. Back when I was watching the vlog before Fuego del Sol made me lose all respect for him as a married man, telling us that what we see is not what we see, and he just but we come to find out why Sammy got into YouTube and the way he did it. He actually, Fuego was like his YouTube mentor. And Fuego had like a backyard kids wrestling league. And before he was Fuego del Sol, he was some kid something. And it was a pretty good thing when they were growing up and wrestling, whatever. It was very interesting, and it got like younger people kind of interested in wrestling. I actually remember hearing about it on YouTube, but I was just like, I ain't watching that. What I look like. And then you get Fuego after that. So yeah, if you go back on his like YouTube far enough, you can find him.
Yeah, I mean, when I Googled, Fuego del Sol, and, they always tell you who every wrestler is. Oh, his birth name is so-and-so, and where he was born. It was like Wikipedia it was like a fucking mystery. And I looked around a couple of the links, and it was like, there's some rumors that Fuego del Sol might be so-and-so from NXT from years ago. But no one actually said, oh, yeah, Fuego del Sol is Jack Smith, born here and there, 25 years old or whatever. I mean, there was none of that. So I was like, well, what the fuck's going on here?
Yeah, no, it's kind of like, well, no, you just gotta like his name has been brought up. He's from Mobile, Alabama. Like, he has like a whole Wikipedia page.
I swear when I looked at it before earlier.
KBW. He was wrestling under the name Cage. That's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I saw that, but again, it didn't look. When I googled it, it was like, this is what I got. I got freaking. Not that it matters, but it was all.
You remember he was KJ Orso.
Yeah, I mean that's what they thought. Yeah, I mean they were all who is KJ Orsa, but then like under personal life, it's all Del Sol resides in Oregon City, and it doesn't say, born by the name of Alan Ditter or Joe Smith, like they normally do for most wrestlers. Like you can find that.
That's KJ Orso is Fuego del Sol.
Okay, I believe you. I'll take your word for it.
Straight in.
So you don't like Fuego del Sol? Is it just because of the stuff from the vlog stuff, or is it beyond that?
So I don't want you guys to think I'm petty or that like I'm one of those weird wrestling people. I really like Sammy's vlogs. I really like seeing wrestlers as normal, everyday people because it helps me feel like I can relate to them. I want to buy more of their merch because they're like a normal, everyday person. Like, yeah, he's a douche, but he's cool. My thing with Fuego came in when people were like, Sammy and Ty getting really close. Like, this doesn't seem right. Fuego, you just kind of getting started. You might not want to be in this mess. And it occurs for a few vlogs, and people start kind of distancing themselves from those two, and you don't pick up on it till you go back and look at the vlogs now. But Fuego ended an episode, and I think it was like the last episode I watched, being like, what you like, don't believe everything you hear, and like people can just be friends, da 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 da. And it's like, okay, being friends with somebody is cool. Doing some of the things on camera that they're doing is odd, and they're not that good actors. And then the next week it comes out, and it's like, okay, so y'all just sat here and lied to us and gaslit us into thinking like we're crazy for seeing what we're seeing, but it's true. And it's like, you can deny it all you want to, but then you're also like giving high five to your best friend and praising all this stuff. And it's like,
all right, well that explains it. So no more Fuego del Sol.
Yeah. I was happy to not have him on my screen, though. It was cool to see Evil Uno. Mm-hmm. They could have taken that away. Redville versus Billy Starks. Billy Starks is going to be one to keep your eye on forward.
Not that I care at all. I'm just curious why, for the first time, I noticed Evil Uno's vest was open the whole time. Normally, it's closed the whole time.
Because he's been losing weight and getting into shape.
I see.
He was even more into shape when Stu was there because they were doing a lot of like break the gym, and he would have him in there doing stuff. But he's still doing really good. I'm really proud of him.
What do you think of Devon's sons, the Hughes brothers?
I thought they were done with the AEW. I could have sworn I heard a report that they had signed to like NXT or something. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I could have sworn that was a report.
Yeah, I don't remember hearing that. And this is honestly the first time I remember seeing them. But
I like them.
I mean, I always liked their dad. This is, again, the first time I've seen them, and I thought that they didn't have that great a showing just because they were putting over the other team. I mean, the Workhorsemen were definitely the better team in this match. I mean, it wasn't a squash match by any stretch, but I thought that the Workhorsemen came out looking like the over team, you know what I mean, for sure. So
I mean, they wanted them to, which is a testament to the Hughes brothers, TNT, however you want to call them. I personally think that they're going to be really great sellers like their dad. And I also look forward to them getting that big break. If used properly, I think they're like arch nemesis or whatever would be top flight. And I would look very much forward to seeing like ground and pound versus high flyer versus like some of the technical stuff that we could possibly see from them. But
yeah.
speaking of like second generation or whatever, Brock Anderson's promo skills have improved, and you love to see that.
I thought he sounded better than his dad did, honestly. Arn didn't have the greatest promo.
He sounded so much better.
He did, right?
But Arn, besides the, you know, I pull up on him promo, has Arn really ever cut like
No. Even with the Four Horsemen, I mean, him and Oli were like the ones in the back not really saying anything. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, no, I mean, definitely. He's never been what I would call a great promo by any means. But Brock, I thought, did a decent promo. And he came out at a decent match.
I like to see that. I want to see more of that. I think for me, I'm torn between match that you need to see be a main event of AR Fox, and this is gonna sound really weird to say, Slim J. I think that is my match that you must watch. I don't know what's gonna happen with the Trustbusters at all. I think that they have a lot of untapped potential they could get into, but that was a damn good match.
I agree. I'm a huge AR Fox fan. I can't get enough AR Fox. So anytime I see him, I'm happy.
Lucha Underground, bro. Lucha Underground. That's
For
what
sure.
I met AR Fox, and I bought into the AR Fox and the kill shot thing. I was like, oh my god, who I know what's gonna happen.
And then he was on Evolve after that. So, and he did a lot of really good work on Evolve. Plus, I guess he teaches a lot of guys. Like he's a big time teacher and trainer. So,
a lot of people have said like they go to him for their like high flying moves so they can get it down and make it look seamless. I love the fact that he is now getting a bigger stage. I think AEW got a really good acquisition with him.
I agree.
Anything else from Dark this week?
Well, I mean, anytime I get Daddy Magic saying it makes his nipple hard is a great episode for me. So, I mean,
I was hoping to see that part.
And I love that if you listen to the commentary, I love how Taz is mad because Tony Schiavone says that Daddy Magic is a color commentator. Taz's like, no, he's not. He's not a color commentator. He don't do what I do. You can tell Taz is getting all irritated.
Stop playing with Taz. Taz is gonna start like hitting people again.
Right? I think that was basically it. Yeah, I mean, we touched on all the stuff that I liked seeing on Helico. In the Spanish announced program.
I should not like Angelico, but he works.
Yeah.
He really works.
Yep. Nope, I think that's all I got on that. So if you want to talk to us about BTE.
I'm going to do a real short and sweet because it wasn't too much. I'm going to start off by saying to the stand-in, I believe it's Matt Jackson, Rosario Grillo, I hope your leg gets better faster than 3 to 5 months. I know that you like shattered it. I follow you on Twitter. Well, actually, you followed me on Twitter first, but I hope your leg gets better because I actually like you in the ring. I like you on this BTE stuff. It's really interesting. Like, I like seeing character progression, and that's kind of what you and Alexander, I can never remember his name. I apologize. I can never remember your name, but I love you as like the stand-in Bucks and also as wrestlers. Y'all are really good. We have I believe it's Crimson Christmas. Of course, we have the stand-in Bucks. There's like a funny Wendy's bit that you guys should go see. Then another really important, like a really funny thing was the NBA of Isaiah Cassidy and Daniel Garcia, and they have taken dick riding. They have their licenses to dick ride now. Isaiah Cassidy has decided that he is going to go against the Elite because the Elite weren't winning and it had pissed him off, and he felt like he was being disrespected because his family all wanted Death Triangle to win. So they gave him potato salad, but they put raisins in the potato salad. He was like, I can't deal with this disrespect. I'm not doing this. I'm going for Death Triangle. Daniel Garcia's like, you're not going to be invited back. So it's just going to be me next week. And let's go, Elite. And honestly, seeing these young men with personalities, especially Daniel Garcia, for the love of all that is good and holy, let Daniel Garcia have his personality on AEW. The other big thing was continue on for the Brian. So last week we get the fact that he physically cannot turn to the left. This week he was trying to shoot his usual little segment, and his girlfriend, boo thing, girl on date, every time he goes to start filming, she just has that movie scream of terror and just breaks down. And it's just I don't want to do these things anymore. I don't want to have to film you. How do we go on dates just so I can film you? And it's just a whole 5 minutes of absolute hilarity. If you have 20, 30 extra minutes, go watch this week's Being the Elite. It's really funny. We see some interesting tension between Kenny Omega and the Bucks. Hey, you guys, we gotta get it together. We got things to do. We can't lose. We came back to win. So take the time to do it. It's all kind of funny. We're going back to what Being the Elite was before. It kind of blew up this year. So we're going back to, the pre-200 episodes where it's behind the scenes, it's fun, it's laughter, stuff like that. But yeah, that was this week's Being the Elite review, even though we didn't switch the banner over. So, yeah.
I was dying. Ryan Nemeth's girl was just, oh my God, that whole scene, I was dying. He was like, but I gotta pay the car insurance. Oh man, I was dying. Yeah, that's really one of the first times I've watched. Well, I've watched BTE a couple times, but it was a pretty funny episode. There were a few points where I was like, this is a little whatever, but then some of it is absolutely hysterical. So if you have time, check it out.
So go back last week and watch Ryan Nemeth's segment. He's like, it's a bit it happens to a lot of people. A lot of people can't turn to the left. Because then, Brandon was like, okay, I need you to turn to the left. And he goes, I turn to the left. And Brandon is like, no. He was like, okay, stop. And he couldn't stop until he turned to the right side. So, Cesar Bononi picks him up and, poses him. And he's just the whole time. I have to go see it. The Pretty Peter Avalon and Leva Bates stuff has been ongoing. It continues to pop me because they are so weird. It works.
Yeah, that made me laugh too. I was like, what am I watching? I was laughing too.
There was one where they had to speak in Chinese or Spanish one episode. That was hilarity. We're going back to old BTE where the skits are funny and the books are important, but they're not necessary for the show to be good.
Sure. Yep. You want to take us out?
Yep. So that was this week's Under the Radar. We hope that you had a wonderful, festive holiday season and that you come back to us in 2023 because we will be here. We will be here starting on Tuesdays with the cookout at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 9:30 p.m. Central Time. We also are live now on Fridays for Friday Night SmackDown, which starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. And then we continue on to AEW Rampage at 10 p.m. Eastern. And next week, we are also going to continue on with the Battle of the Belts after Rampage. It's just going to be a whole lot of night of rampaging and AEW, and there's going to be a lot of caffeine consumed and us going off the rails because we're going to go a little bit insane. That's what we do. You can also find Under the Radar dropping on Saturdays at 2 p.m. Eastern. And of course, we are Workhorse Wrestling Network. So catch us live Tuesday or Friday, as well as when we are live for our pay-per-view, premium live event, whatever you want to call them. So, all right, that's it for us. We will catch y'all next time.
Thanks, y'all. Peace.